11:20. There you go. There you go.
Hello again. Thank you all for being here. We have a lot of new information to share this morning. We want to identify our suspect. His name is Desmond Hawley. He's 16 years old, obviously a student at Evergreen High School. Mark is going to be releasing a photo of him via Twitter now, so that you guys have that. I think that's his driver's license. Probably the most important thing I can tell you today is that the students and the staff at the school were amazing. They did their job, they did it well, and lives were saved yesterday because of the actions they took during their lockdown drill. We know that the suspect had a handgun. He had to keep reloading. He would fire and reload, fire and reload, fire and reload. This went on and on. And as he did that, he tried to find new targets. And he came up against a roadblock on many of those doors. He couldn't get to those kids. So there's not enough to be said for the work that the teachers, the coaches, the staff, the students, lots of kids ran. But the ones who didn't were locked down and they were being cared for. So really, really proud of those people today. We have security at both of the hospitals where our victims are, still in critical condition. No one has been released. There was information yesterday that one of the two victims was released from Children's, and that's not true. Bear with me, lots of notes. We have a great deal of support from so many jurisdictions, but FBI's role here has been tremendous. Their ERT. We also have lab work being done, scene processing from Arvada. God, I'm sorry, it's somewhere in my notes. Arvada and NCIS, which was a new one for me, and multiple other agencies, because there's so many crime scenes within the school and outside the school. Yesterday, I think I stated that it stayed on school property. It did not. It actually spilled out into the street behind the school. So we have an additional crime scene. I think the street is called Olive, where one of the students was running to. We are allowing kids and teachers and parents who are in the west lot to come and get their cars. You have to go to the location that we've already given, which is Bergen Meadows Elementary. You have to have a key. So if you're a student who ran out of the school and you don't have the keys to your car, we can't let you into the school to get your keys. But if you have a key in hand, please go there. We'll bus you down here because we have a lot of cars. You can see them behind me that we need to get moved out. The rec center parking lot also was locked down, and we're allowing people who had vehicles in the rec center parking lot to get their vehicles as well. The other lot at the school, east side, is not available for release yet. Let's see here. We know that both victim families plan to release a photo of their child today and a statement from the families. I'm not sure when that's coming. I think shortly. So you'll have a photo and a statement from families. And I know at this point they're asking to let them grieve, let them deal with what they're dealing with, the fact that their student or their loved one was shot. So we want to protect them as much as possible. The warrants that we have are for the home, the suspect's phone, obviously locker. He did not bring a vehicle here. He rode the bus yesterday morning. What we're learning is that, based on some of the information that we're seeing about this suspect, is that he was radicalized by some extremist network. Sorry, I wanted to get those right. Some extremist network. And the details of that will be down the road, but we want to at least give you that much about maybe mindset for him. The suspect's autopsy was this morning as well. So that has been done. And I've already indicated that the suspect brought quite a bit of ammunition with him, and he continued to reload. I think we're very, very grateful that there were not more injuries, but saddened that there were any. And I think that is what I have in the way of notes. So please feel free to ask questions.
You mentioned there was a crime scene behind the school that spilled out onto the area behind the school.
Yes.
Is that one of the students that
Yes. Yes. There is a crime scene. Lots of crime scenes. You got it. There's multiple crime scenes. I indicated yesterday some inside and some outside, but all on school property, and we now know that there's at least one crime scene that is spilled over into the roadway behind the school.
And that is because you're saying one of the students that was shot went to that area?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have any information about how the student got a hold of this weapon, who it belongs to, how they came into possession of it?
Great question about ownership of the gun. We're working that angle today. I don't have that for this press conference, but we'd sure like to share that when we have it.
And do you have any more information about the type of gun?
It was a revolver handgun. I don't know what caliber.
Jackie, how do you know that the student was radicalized by a student's group?
It's just information that we're learning probably through what we're finding in the home, maybe what we're finding on his phone, but there's some level of confirmation that there's something we really need to take a deeper look at.
Jackie, we heard something yesterday about a potential fourth victim. Can you clarify that for us today?
Yeah, a great question. Yesterday we indicated that there were 3 people shot, our suspect, and 2 victims, and that there was a 4th that was transported from somewhere. We don't think that that's true anymore. I apologize for the misinformation, but we think it's just the 3.
Do you have any idea how many times the gun was fired? The suspect's gun was fired?
The suspect's gun was fired a lot. The reason we have so many crime scene areas inside is because we have windows shot out. We have lockers that were shot up. We're finding spent rounds, unspent rounds, so it's a huge area. And the school, I was told, is 3 levels. So lots of work to be done, but he fired multiple times.
Jackie, how many revolvers? Did you say it was more than one weapon?
1 revolver.
And how many rounds of ammunition was there?
I don't know. I don't know how many rounds.
Were there surveillance cameras in the school?
Yes,
And did it record the entire incident?
it did. There are cameras inside of the school, which is very powerful and important for us in our investigations. We're able to track his movement throughout the school.
Jackie, what about a school resource officer?
Evergreen High School used to have a full-time SRO. That SRO is on medical leave right now. So it's a shared duty. Horrible timing, of course, but shared duty. So we have a couple of part-time SROs that share this school right now. There was no one from the SRO unit at the school when the shooting started. He was there until about 10:30, 10:45, and then he was dispatched out here for an accident pretty close by.
Are those JEFCO officers that
They
have
are.
contract with the district?
Those are Jefferson County Sheriff's Office deputies who are our SROs.
Okay, and then in lieu of the person on leave, it was a shared, they'd rotate between
Uh-huh.
schools, but normally there would be someone staff full-time?
Yes.
Sort of assigned to the school.
Yes.
Was the shooting targeted at anyone? Was it random?
Another great question. We can't say yet whether this feels more targeted or more random, but based on what I'm telling you about firing and reloading, it seems like it could be a bit of both.
We had heard that there might have been a notebook that had surfaced in the past with this particular student in years previous. Do you have any information that there may have been a notebook with certain students' names that the school district may have known about in that student's past?
That's all new information to me, what you're saying about a notebook that might contain like a hit list. Is that what you're speaking
And it may
to?
not be true.
Haven't heard anything along those lines, not yet.
Are there looking to be any charges on the parents for the access to the gun? You know,
It's certainly something that we're going to look at.
Can you talk about how being at lunch at the time of this situation complicated things or what that looked like?
I think there was a lot of chaos yesterday. We know that some kids were on lunch, which gave them more freedom and access to hallways and outdoors. And we know that there were a lot of kids who ran and a lot of kids who locked down. So it's just timing. It was just chaos. And I don't think that that's avoidable when you have something like this ever.
Do you believe the student waited until the SRO left?
There's no reason to believe that. I wouldn't know, and we may not know that answer.
Do you happen to know how the student concealed his weapon until lunchtime?
Yeah, I don't know. No idea.
Can you speak to resources for students, families, teachers today?
Right. So we have the Bergen Meadows Elementary School, which is no longer in use. That's just a facility that we're using very close by here. This is for students, it's for staff, it's for anyone who lives in this area. It's for anyone who's feeling the pain of this. We have a lot of resources there, people to talk to. just resources in case you want to reach out privately. We also have investigators there in case someone walks in and they end up being somebody who witnessed something that we hadn't talked to yet. So there's a lot of staff over there, and we're just trying to do the very best that we can to take care of this community, and they're suffering right now.
You talked about the lockdown working. Did the shooter, or was the shooter trapped in an area, so to speak, where they could not go in past the locked doors?
I can't tell you that because I don't know the shooter's movements. But I do know that he tried to gain access to areas that were locked down. And those teachers and those students did their job and took into account what they've learned, and it kept them safe, for sure.
Were students able to, did they encounter him? Did they see him aiming the gun at them and perhaps not shooting at them?
I don't know the answer to that. We have so many students that have been interviewed because they saw something, they heard something, they believe they were shot at, and that's a lot of kids. We've done a lot of interviews. We have more to do. I can't speak to what any one of those students actually witnessed, but we believe we have witnesses to the shootings.
Can you talk about what's been found at the suspect's house?
I can't talk about what's been found at the suspect's house because I don't know. But I think that they found valuable information for our case.
Seems to be an issue with the reunification plans that were happening. At one point it was at one area, then went to another. Was there any reason in particular for the confusion?
I can tell you that we always said it was going to be Bergen Meadows Elementary. Kids self-deployed in all kinds of places. So it was hard to round them up. And we're not being critical of those kids who ran to neighborhoods, who ran to the rec center, ran down the street, went to the library. So they were everywhere. So unifying all of that was a bit of a challenge yesterday, and that's just going to happen. It's just chaos. And it took a while to get our arms around that, get buses to the right places, and get parents back to their kids.
Is there an emergency system in place for kids just in case something like this happens? I mean, obviously it happened yesterday. Is there an emergency system in place here just in case where people could be able to meet up somewhere?
I don't know that that's a hard and fast written rule on what that emergency plan looks like. They have to be fluid because every situation is different, and what might work today may not work next time. So it's just probably the framework is there, but we have to adjust to the kids and the parents who ran.
Jackie,
And I'm sorry, not the parents, the students.
have investigators made contact and spoken with the suspect's family, parents, guardians?
Yes, our investigators have been in touch with the suspect's family. Close contact.
What was
Have
the
they
route?
spoken to investigators?
Yes, they have.
What was the route that this young man took inside the school?
Great question again. I, as the PIO, do not know that. Our investigators have a really good understanding of how he moved about inside the school because we have great surveillance video, but I don't know that.
Follow-up question to that, the amount of time that passed. I know yesterday you guys were saying it was really a matter of minutes since you learned about it to get here. Do you have an idea now about how long he was in the building doing this?
Oh, another great question. It's
You
a
just know
good
response
question.
to it.
I'm really sorry. I don't know how long he was in there.
Okay.
We got those calls so quickly starting at 12:24. It became very, very serious as the 911 calls flooded in. And that's all we need to know, that this isn't a swatting call. This is more than that. And that's why the resources that came up here as fast as they could, safely. And we were in that school very quick.
And clarification about inside, outside. Of our two victims who are in the hospital, one was
Yep.
shot outside, one was shot inside. Is that correct?
That is correct. One victim shot inside, one victim shot outside.
And I know you're not a doctor. Can you speak at all about what kind of injuries, like location of gunshots? Can you speak at all to the number of shots these kids took?
I don't know that. I'm hoping we need to let these families the victim families just adjust to what they're dealing with today. So we're really trying to be protective of our victims right now by not giving out too much information. So maybe tomorrow and the days that come.
A follow-up to the SRO question, and forgive me if you've already answered this, but should have an SRO been there? I know you said they left to do something. It sounds like it was okay for them to do that.
Sure.
Was that SRO following department policy, school policy, when they left the campus?
Yes. The SRO that was sharing responsibility of Evergreen High School is allowed to come and go. He can go to lunch. He might have to handle something in the parking lot, and he might be cover on something that's happening in the neighborhood or up in the Evergreen area, a cover car for that. So no, he did not do anything wrong.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What happened when law enforcement did make contact with the shooter? You said they got to him in about 5 minutes.
Right.
What happened?
Could have even been less than that. That's just kind of an estimate. I'd like to tell you more about that, but I need to get permission to do that. It's a lot, but I'd love to be able to tell you that story. Maybe I can do that later. Okay.
And a
Any
follow-up
idea
to-
how long the school will be closed?
Not going to read. The Evergreen High School will not be open this week. It's a guesstimate. Maybe next week. We have a lot of work to do, and probably a few things that they'd like to do aesthetically to make that just a more healthy environment for the kids and the teachers. So I just don't know.
Was there body-worn camera video that will show at some point the officer's encounter with the shooter?
Yes.
It was,
I don't know that it will be released right now. I know that it won't be released right now. How about that?
yes.
But I do think that there's absolutely, there's body cam footage just showing more specific detail about the encounter.
And I know that you said that you can't say much about that encounter, but can you tell us if there were commands or was there a conversation of some kind that took place between that officer and the shooter?
I've got to get some better clearance and permission to do that. I understand that that's something you'd really like to have, so I'll see if I can get clearance for it.
Once again, for clarification, for if anybody wants to go pick up their car, they would be at Bergen Meadows.
Bergen Meadows Elementary, you got to have a key. If the key that you need for your car is in your locker, we're not letting anyone in. But if you have a key, and we want one person, the driver, we'll bus him to the school because that area is completely cleared now.
When you say there are things to maybe do with the school aesthetically to make the school better, can you describe what that is?
That would be broken windows, lockers that have sustained gunshots. I think that we have fluids that need to be cleaned up, some of that kind of thing.
So it sounds like there were students and teachers hiding in locked areas. as
No
the shooter
question.
was going through.
No question. I can't praise the staff and the students enough for doing what they learned to do, whether it was 10 years ago, 15 years ago, or it was something they learned at their first day of class here. They did the right thing. They locked down, and I'm not judging anyone who fled, but lots and lots of kids and teachers locked down in those rooms, did what they were supposed to do, and we know that it saved lives. They're heroes, our teachers. Looking at a motive, but we don't have one yet.
Have you heard the stories about the neighbors who took in kids? What do you make of that? People opening doors, saying,
Yeah.
"I'm in my basement."
That to me sounds like Evergreen. Evergreen is still a smaller community. They're a tight community. Man, they're going to take care of their kids. If they're home, they're taking them in. Yeah.
Jackie, do you believe the shooter was trying to carry out a mass shooting with all the ammunition for that?
I have to believe when you bring a gun to school and you continue to fire and reload, that you are on a mission. And we are grateful that he was less successful, but we're devastated that he was successful at all.
Did you mention how many rounds of ammunition he had? I might have missed that.
No, I don't know the amount of ammunition.
What-
Quite a bit.
When the school opens, what's going to be the plan for SROs? Is there going to be a full-time one that will be hired immediately? Or what is the plan? Is it still going to be part-time?
Another great question. I have to believe that we're going to have additional resources here for the kids as long as we need to. There may be a plan for us to put somebody more permanently up there. We'll talk about it.
Well, for surrounding schools, do they have SROs?
Yeah,
Are they also?
it's shared. It's still a shared responsibility. Not every school has a full-time SRO.
Well, I guess just for those who are wondering at home that you've seen something like this happen, why is it not full-time? Is there an issue with funding? What is the issue? Why there isn't full-time SRO?
The only reason there wasn't a full-time here is because she's on light duty. So we were sharing responsibility of that school.
When you say light duty, what do you mean by light duty?
It's about as far as I can go with that.
Can you talk about what kind of radicalization?
I don't know that. It was stated to us specifically that was radicalized through an extremist network, and clearly we take that very seriously. There's obviously a lot of work that has to go into looking at his phone, looking at his social media pages, searching his room, searching his backpack. Searching his locker. There's a lot of places to look that we hope will just give us better information as to what he was attempting to do and maybe the why. Sometimes we never find out why.
And in the past, we've talked, we're talking about safety and cell phones and cell phone policies. We've talked a lot about, it's every parent's worst nightmare not to be able to get a hold of their kid.
Yeah.
One of the reasons that we've heard like from Jeff Pearson and some of the school resource officers is we don't want kids on their cell phones when something like this happens to jam up the networks.
Sure.
What is the learning from that? Was there any problem with students and cell phones and families reuniting?
Not that I know of. You know, if you look way back into Columbine, a lot of kids didn't have phones back then. And the chaos that creates when you can't connect with your child. And we know that today, you're hard-pressed to find a child who doesn't have a phone. And I know a lot of kids reached out to their parents, so there was immediate relief. But hearing your kid is okay isn't enough. You need to hold your child. So it was still working really hard to get them connected.
And Jackie, any words of encouragement, or I guess for those families who were there yesterday, we saw so many of them who were rightfully so torn, kids shaken as well?
We will do what we can as a community to heal from this. It really sucks that we're here again. We've had our fair share of school shootings in Jeffco. But we are going to do everything that we can to help these kids heal, to help the teachers and the parents get back to life, and a lot of that is just going to take time, but the resources are available, and we are encouraging everyone to use them.
Clarification point again, how would you characterize, so we're very clear on the parents' involvement in the families' involvement in this investigation? Are they under investigation themselves? Are they cooperative? I'll let you use your words. Where they fit into this storyline?
We are in contact. You're talking about the suspect's parents.
Parents, I assume is the right word.
They have been cooperative.
Are they under investigation for any reason?
I think everything is on the table when it comes to looking at this investigation and where it leads us. And I think that they're aware of that as well. But we have not run into a roadblock with this family, which is great news.
Were there any red flags along the way, like did any that you're aware of that the district might have heard from other students concerned about the shooter's behavior?
Not that I'm aware of. No warning to this. Not that I'm aware of.
How long until kids could be able to go and pick up their cars or be able to meet at Brigham Meadows Elementary School? What's the time?
11 to 4:45 today. They can do that right now. Head over there with your keys. We'll bus you here, escort you to your vehicle, and get you out of here. There'll be another push later on for the other side of the school, and then there'll also be the need to get these kids and these teachers back in the classroom to get their books, to get their cell phones, to get their purses, and all the stuff that got left behind as a result of the shooting. So there'll be an opportunity for us to get the school open for those that need to get in there to get their personal property.
When would that be?
Don't know. Could be this weekend, but we'll keep you posted.
What's your plan for the rest of the day? Do you anticipate more updates later?
I just have a whole bunch of new questions that you guys asked. So I'm going to go back and see if we can help shed light in that way. And if we can, I don't want to bring you all together to say nothing. So if we have something substantial, we're going to get back together and it will be here. All right? Thanks for your patience.
Thank you, Jeff.
All right.
Thanks,
Take care.
Jackie.
You bet.